Hello guys, in this tutorial we'll discuss how to write a framework using DataProvider annotation. DataProvider is an annotation of TestNG tool. So this kind of framework we can write when we have limited number of records, and if we have like numerous number of records, then we can use directly reading the data from Excel sheet or CSV file. So in this tutorial we'll discuss how to read the data using DataProvider. In next tutorial we'll see like how we can read the data from Excel sheets. So let's focus on this using DataProvider. So let's go to Eclipse. First we'll make a create. We'll start from the scratch, and let's make a Java project. Selenium framework. Okay, so done, and here you go. In this one we have package. We'll create a new package in this project. So let's say test.framework.com. okay, let's see. And then under this package we can create a class using TestNG, right? So let's say other. So TestNG, we can select TestNG class, and then done. We need to give the name of the TestNG class. Let's see, Indeed login. Okay, so here we can select the source folder. So let's see, source is this one. Okay, and we can browse package name, so this one. Okay, so finish. So now this class is created over here. So this is TestNG annotation. So this package is coming from TestNG framework, so we need to add that TestNG library. Either you can do that from here, add TestNG library, or like you can go to your right click and then build path, configure build path, which we already discussed. Go to libraries, add libraries, and there you go, right? But before that, this library should be downloaded or installed in your Eclipse, right? Only then it will render here, right? All these libraries. So TestNG is here. So that I think you already know from my previous tutorial how we can do that. That is just a simple thing. Okay, so let's do, since we need to add, we can do this. Finish, apply. Okay, so you can see now all those TestNG jar files are here, right? So, and that error got removed from here. So let's see. Okay, it's a function name, so we can start with the small case. Okay, so guys, this one and this one is totally different, so don't confuse yourself. This is class name and this is a function name, so it's not same, it's different, because Java is case sensitive language, right? So don't be so confused. So let's go here, and then we need to do one thing. We need to set the path for our Chrome driver, right? If you are using Firefox, then you can set the path for Gecko driver. So let's see, system.set property. Okay, so now here webdriver dot chrom driver. Okay, and then the value, like where that Chrome driver file is there, exe file. So in my case it's there, like I stored on this path, so it's this one, Chrome driver. So let's see, So I'll copy this path and I'll put that here. So now it's showing the error. Why? Because in Java we can't use single slash, so we need to use double slash. Okay, so the error got removed, and now we'll launch the browser window, right? So for that we need to create the instance of WebDriver. So WebDriver equal to new. Okay, so now WebDriver, it's not showing like from where this class or the interface is mentioned, so in which package. So for that we need to add Selenium Webdriver jar files, right? So we'll click here and then again we'll go to build path. Okay, and then libraries, add external jars. Okay, so Selenium and then Selenium Java, these are my jar files, not this one, sorry. Add external jars. Okay, yeah, I think this one. Let me check. Control P, open, and okay. So now if you click here, move out, so you can see now import WebDriver. So it's coming from org.openqa.selenium package. Okay, so right click and import this one. Okay, now we are going to launch the browser with the URL. First we can minimize or maximize the window. So this command or this line, it will minimize or maximize the browser window, right? And then we need to open the URL of the Indeed site. So I'm taking the example of this one, guys. So if you'll go to this site, you will see this page and then you can sign in. So just to reduce one step, I'm directly coming here and I'll take this URL instead of opening the first page and clicking on sign button. So here you go, driver.get, and then this in double quotes, it's a string. Okay, or if you want, you can change this one as www dot as well, so that would also work. Let me change, or otherwise let it be as it is, that will work. So now you have opened this URL. So let's suppose the downloading of page will take some time, because you know in these web pages we are using JavaScript and right, these kind of things like JavaScript, Ajax, and so they can take time to load. So let's wait for some time using thread.sleep. So what it will do, it will wait till 2 seconds. Okay, so it will throw an exception. Let's use that basic exception. Okay, so now we need to come here and we need to pass the value in this one. So for this one to pass the value, let's inspect the element. So we can do I just press F12 button so that I can inspect the element. This is developer tool of Chrome browser. So let's inspect this element. So now I want to copy the XPath or name or ID. We can use anything. So this has ID as well, so we can use ID or XPath. So I would prefer to use XPath here. So right click on this one, whatever the selected portion, and then copy XPath. Okay, now go back to your Selenium. So driver dot find element, by dot XPath. So we'll find the element using XPath, and the XPath already copied to clipboard. Let's paste that here. So this is XPath. So since we can't use double bracket inside the double bracket, so if we want to use that, so we need to use this /. Okay, now that error is gone. Dot send keys. So send keys means we need to send some value. As of now I'm just entering this value. Later we'll change this once we'll write the DataProvider method. Okay, so then that method will pass the value to this function. Okay, so let's copy this one. Just to save some time, I'm copy pasting, and let's in between wait for a minute so that you guys can see how the functionality is working. Otherwise it would be so quick that you won't be able to analyze what is going on actually. So let's wait. And now in this one we need to change this, because this one here will pass the password. Let's use the password is password. So now I'll go to the second column. So why I copy pasted this 3 times? One is for email, another is for password, and then for button, right? We need to press this button, so don't confuse yourself. Now we need to inspect this password button. Okay, password text box. So here you go. This has also ID. If you want to identify the web element using ID, that you can do, but let's copy paste the XPath. Okay, and then here you go. Okay, same, we need to put the // to remove this error. Okay, and then done. And now we need to press this button. Okay, this button also has so see, this button don't have any ID. So here in this case, either we can write our own XPath or we can do the same technique like from the browser, right? Copy XPath. So here same thing. So I hope you know how to write XPath. Otherwise you can see my previous tutorials how to write XPath. It's very simple. Actually here you need to put the in tag name, otherwise you can put star, then it will identify automatically by scanning the whole page, and then any ID, right? And then attribute, the value of that ID, right? Either it is ID or any other tag name, right? Each tag name has some different attributes, right? Many attributes are there. So like for example, you can say it has class, it has type. So all these are attributes and the value, right? Tag name, attribute, and value. Okay, so now we are going to press on this one, right? So if you want to see how this is working, I'm changing because this is the correct username and password. So first I want to show how this script is working without DataProvider. Let's run this. I think everybody knows how without DataProvider how it's running. Okay, so let's run this. Here, there you go. Maximize, pass the URL, enter email, enter password, click on sign in button, and done. So something is wrong here, it's not clicking. Might be I haven't changed that, yeah, this part, right? So we need to change this one. Okay, so now it will work fine. Okay, so now we'll write another method which will pass the value. Instead of like passing the value manually, it will take from the DataProvider. So we'll use the DataProvider annotation, and we'll give a name to this annotation. Let's say login credential. Okay, so and there you go, public and then return type. Since here we need to pass these two values, username and password, so for that we need to write a 2D array. We need to create a 2D array where we'll store the values in that array and we'll return that one. So if I'll put integer, then it will take only integer type of value, string type of values. But you know, in username and password, it can have all types of values, either it could be integer or string, right? So in that case, in Java we do have an object type array, so where we can store any type of value. Let's see, object, and the function is let's say indeed data. Okay, so now you will see it's showing error. Why? Because we need to import this. It's coming from TestNG annotation, right? So let's import this one. The error is gone. Now it's showing error here. Why? Because it's expecting the return statement. Since the return type is object, so it's expecting us to return the data, return something, so then it will go away. So let's write something. So now we'll need to initialize this array, object, it's a 2D array, data new object. So we are writing 2D array. Okay, so three rows and 2 columns. Okay, so in memory, actually this is 3 rows and 2 columns. This array has 3 rows, 2 columns. But why it is taking 2? Because the index is always starting in array from 0. So it's 0, 1, 2, and it will be 0 and 1. So 3 rows, 0, 1, 2. This one is representing rows and this one is representing columns. So I created just to make you understand this one. So here you can see we need to pass username and password. So this is 2D array. So in memory, how that will be stored, right? So here you can see 0, 1, 2, 3 rows, 0, 1, 2, 2 columns. Okay, and then we need to pass this test1 and password. So the first element of the array would be data 0, 0, right? So let me first put the value here. So this is the object we created for the array. So now we'll put the value in this data and 0, 0. So first username, so that is okay, and then data 0, 1. So it's a first row which has 2 values, username and password, right? So the password we can say, let me put any random thing, random string or something. This is not correct. That's what we want to make sure whether it's working properly or not for all the entries. So now this is one record for one row. Here you can see data 0, 0, data 0, 1, username, password, same, data 1, 0, data 1, 1. So this 0, 0 is for this column, first column, and 1 is for this one, right? In the second entry you can see. And same way 0 first entry 0, 0, second entry 1, 1, 2, 2. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you guys. Now we'll initialize these values for other 2 rows as well. Okay, so let me copy paste this. We'll change the index only. Okay, so the second row has index 1. Okay, so second row and first column. So let's say the correct value here, and the password is India 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then the third row 2, 2. Okay, the first row is 2, 0. I mean this one 2, 0, 2, 1. Okay, So let's say TestNG password 123. Okay, so now we can return this data. Okay, so when we are returning this data, how this function will get to know that we are receiving data from data provider. So for that we need to mention that we have dependency on this function. Okay, so let's say we can mention data here provider and the name, right? So whatever the name we give, control C, control B. So when we start execution, when the control will come to this annotation test, it will start executing this test. Immediately it will get to know that we are depending on data provider, and the control will directly come here. It will declare that array, initialize that array, and then create these values, and the control will come back to this. Okay, now since through this data provider we are passing two values the same time, username and password. So let's receive those values in this function. Username and password. Okay, so and once we are receiving these values, instead of our manual entry we can pass those values here, which are coming from data provider, right? And we are all set now. Okay, let's see now how it's working. We'll run this script and we'll see is it working fine without any issue. Let's run this. So there you go, something is wrong here. Let's see the console index out of bound exception. Okay, so the might be when we are declaring we need to mention the correct array size, 3 rows 2 columns. Let's see, rerun that program. So there you go, now it's working, started reading. Okay, yeah, the initialization was a little problem was there, so sorry for that. Now you can see first entry is done, incorrect. Now it will open the second time for second entry, which would be done, and there you go, it will log in. See, we came over here, so we can see this is passed. So this is the third one, and yeah, there you go. But now if we'll come here, it is showing all tests are passed. Why? Because we are not putting any condition for these values that whether they are correct or not. If we want to check whether they are correct or not, and we want the correct result, that it should show passed for one and for another it should not show. So for that we can put assert condition here. Okay, so let's see, let me check the title for the page where login was successful. System.out.println. And this driver dot get title. Okay, we'll get the title of the page when we are successfully logged in. Let me wait for some time by the time page will load, so that sometimes otherwise by the time page will load it will try to get the title. It can show the title of the previous page. So let's wait for a moment. Once it will click on login button, and then it will get the title of that one, right? I need the title just to put in the assert condition. Okay, so let's see, I need to run it one more time and then we'll see. Okay, run as TestNG. Okay, done first time, second time, and I want the title of this page when it would be successful. So before signing in it is this, and now it is this after signing in. So I want this title just to verify the condition, and for the entries where the test is failing, the title is signing Indeed account. You can see that here, right? So let's put the condition now. Since I print the title on console, so let's take that from here. So see, for the first one it is sign in Indeed account, for the second one it is job search Indeed, which is the correct one, and then third one again sign in Indeed account. So let's put that condition here. So we use that assert plus dot assert true. Okay, so let's this one. So here we can see, and the title we can store in in a string. We can store that title, which is the correct one, and so in condition we can now check title dot equals with the logged in page dot get title. Okay, if this title is matching with this title, then it's fine, otherwise we can print the message, right? So okay, sorry, check your credential. Okay, so otherwise we'll print this message. And now if we'll run this one, then it will show the correct results. Like it would show pass for one entry, and for two another entries it will show failed. So there you go, failed first time, and then second time, and there you go, and it's passed for this entry. The third entry again it will fail. And now if you'll see in the TestNG, so it will show passed for one. So there you go. So for first entry it is failed, passed, failed, right? So it's correct. So here also you can see passed once, and for two another entry failed. Okay, so there we go. At the end we can write another method if we want to close all the browser windows automatically. So let's add after we can use the after test annotation. Okay, so this is annotation import, and then we can write public void clear down. Okay, so let's say driver dot. So see, now here the problem is this driver object is limited to this function, right? Since it's declared inside this function, so the scope is limited to this function. Let's declare it outside, so that in the class and here we will use this. Okay, now the scope is throughout the class. So if you'll see here, now you will see all the methods. See, all the methods are now. So driver dot quit, it will close all the browser windows which we are presently opening with this test. Okay, so if you want to see, let's run this one more time. Let's see that first entry it will fail, Done. Then second entry, it will pass. Then third entry, third record, not entry, I must say record. And after this test, it will close all these browser windows which you are seeing here. Okay, so it's closing only this current window. So let me check what's wrong here. Okay, so the annotation we can use after method. Okay, the annotation, it was running only once, so if we use this one, then it will run after every method and it will close that one. Okay, let's import this one. Now you will see the correct behavior. So go with the script at least twice or thrice, then you will get to know what is happening. And if you have any issues, then let me know. And please guys, like it, subscribe my channel, and if you have any question, then let me know. I'll explain that in comments. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. See you in the next tutorial with the how to read data from Excel sheet.